So right off the bat, I watched Wonderstruck's response video last night. So not all the information will be entirely fresh in my head, but dear fucking God, when you think it couldn't get worse, it just does. When you think Blair couldn't possibly be a bigger piece of shit than she is right now, she honestly amazes me. That whole story, that whole recollection of Wonder's of what he went through is just, she knowingly put him through turmoil. Knowingly. She knew of the shit that he was going through and still had the fucking gall to beat him like that. Now, obviously, she didn't literally beat him. At least she's got that going for her, you know? She didn't actually physically beat him. She just, like, tried to sabotage his entire life and drove him to fucking... Right. Now we get to kind of say... Well, I mean, like, it's not like people were necessarily, considerate of keeping that information private. I was, but now that he's open about it in his video, I feel it is appropriate to comment on it, or not necessarily comment on it, but at least, like, that's what it was, right? That's what his big struggle was. But I didn't realize how in depth the straight up bullying and harassing on Blair's end to this entire situation. Like, we used to think that, at least from very broadly, what she put the click through was just like, wow, Blair, you're just a fucking piece of shit. What she put Wonder through, she's a monster. She is an actual fucking monster. Holy shit. So, quick breakdown of essentially, man, I don't even want to retread. If you're watching this video, you're already kind of familiar with the whole Blair stuff. So I'll just keep you up to speed on it's essentially what Wonder described. So Wonder essentially set the groundwork of how this whole relationship started, how this whole thing started with Sad Milk, him getting involved, what his relation was, like the whole paying stuff like that, the whole car stuff that was going on, that I didn't really explain in my second video about this whole drama. Essentially, Blair was convincing Wonder to set aside his independence, something that he held in high regard, with the promises of, you can set aside your independence and we will give you your dream job. We will make your dream a reality if you just set aside your independence and come be dependent on me for all your stuff. She bought him this car under contractual obligation, which I put that in air quotes because apparently after having Wonder's dad's lawyer look over the actual contract, it's not a legally binding contract, so there was no contract to begin with. Blair just bought this car and gave it to him, right? So I mean, it's technically his. He's been paying for the insurance on it, so it's technically his fucking car. But apparently, like, this weird ass document that Blair came up with was just says that no, she actually owns the car, but she doesn't. She just stole it from him. You know, after he didn't meet the deadline, which by the time she took the car, he was still within the deadline, right? So, God, it's like it's hard to cover all this. So they brought him on as essentially sort of like an editor kind of fucking person. But an editor in the sense of, like, he is Blair's editor for her streams and stuff like that. But Blair didn't stream often, so he had literally no fucking work to do, but he tried to make himself useful in that whole group and that whole dynamic of Sad Milk and stuff like that. He tried to make himself useful in that whole dynamic. And one of the big things that Wonder was trying to avoid doing was being a burden, because I completely and 100% understand that, because I struggle with that too. I don't want to be a burden to people. I don't want to be necessarily a thorn in people's side. At least I don't want to be a thorn in the side of people that I like. But when it comes to that personal sort of relation, I completely get that. I completely get not wanting to be a burden. So he's trying to make himself useful, but in a way where he's not actually getting paid for the stuff that he's actually doing, right? Which is essentially being a housemaid, cleaning up after Blair's shit, because if you didn't see the screenshots or you didn't see the pictures that Wonderstruck posted, Blair lives exactly the way she looks, like a fucking pig. I get to be rude. I get to be rude. I get to be fucking mean and nasty to her, because quite frankly, there's no fucking excuse. There's no excuse under the fucking sun for how she treated Wonderstruck, how she treated the Click, how she treated Oz Media, how she treated everyone involved in this shit. She is actually a fucking wicked person. She is actual fucking evil. The shit she gets up to, like I said in my previews, the shit she gets up to when she thinks no one's looking, when she thinks no one's watching. Crazy. Crazy. Holy fuck. Anyways, he was unfortunately fired. Well, fortunately, unfortunately. He was fired, but before before the deadline even hit, because like when he was editing her video, like his editing software corrupted, which if you edit videos, you know that fucking feeling. That tends to happen sometimes. Editing softwares tend to just shit out on you, and you're like, cool, I'll just restart my computer and everything will be all in place, right? All the footage will be there, right? You start it off and the footage is corrupted, and you're like, fuck. Gotta re-record. But for his end, he can't re-record because that's Blair's fucking content. He needs that file again, and she just doesn't provide it. So he's just left there, fucked, and he can't. But he's trying his best to put together what he can, with what he has left. But before that deadline even comes to where like, okay, now you're contractually like, you're fired. She takes the car. She actually chases him back down to Texas, because he moved to Colorado with them when he was starting on the Mad Milk, the Sad Milk stuff. But due to a bunch of like the stress and the complications, he had to move back down to, not move, but he went back down to Texas with his dad, and she chased him to Texas to take the fucking car back like a fucking psycho, to take the car back. It was fucking his. He was paying for the insurance. As far as I'm fucking concerned, whoever's paying for the insurance of that car, it's theirs. She goes and she takes the fucking car before the deadline even comes. Essentially just says, no, you're out of time. You're out of time. I'm just gonna take the car back. It's like, what's the point of having a deadline, Blair? What's the point of having a deadline if you're just gonna well deadline schmedline. I'm taking the car. I'm taking everything, and I'm taking your play button. I'm taking whatever belongings that were in that car, and I'm throwing them away. And she threw it away. She threw it away. She threw his fucking play button away. I don't know the luxury of having a play button. Maybe I won't ever know that luxury. I don't know. By the way, I run my fucking mouth. I might be banned before I get a play button. I might not know that luxury, but I have things in my life that hold very near and dear to me. And I can imagine those things being thrown away by some fucking vindictive little cunt. So I can imagine how he must feel putting his blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. Having the reward of having a little trophy that says you are worth it. You are worth it. You made it. You are worth it. 100,000 subscribers. Boom. There's your fucking play button. Or I think, is it 100,000 that you get your play button, and then 500,000 you get another play button, and then 1 million you get your third and last play button. I think that's how that goes, but I can imagine having that play button and looking at that and seeing that is a symbol of your worth, and having that be thrown away. It's like she does this knowing how it's going to affect him. She inflicts this stress and trauma knowing what's going to do to him, and it got him to the point of wanting to. And Blair said in her little apology, whatever the fuck video you want to call it, I just personally call it a collection of her little schizophrenic conspiracy theories that she's drummed up to excuse her shitty behavior. That's what I call that fucking video, but whatever you want to call it. She says that like, oh, I called the cops to do a wellness check, blah, blah, blah. But Wonder actually shows the police report, or he doesn't show the police report. And the way her messages were interacting with other people who were also leaking those messages and showing how Blair really approached this situation, it almost made it sound like she was trying to insinuate that Wonder is having a mental breakdown and he's going to go there and kill her. So you can imagine making a police report saying there is a very violent and dangerous, mentally unstable man who is looking for a firearm, and he may or may not be coming to kill me. You can imagine how that situation would have gone down if it were a different group of cops that got involved in that situation. If it was just another police department, Wonder would probably be dead because of Blair. He would probably be dead. Fuck, it is actually a miracle that he's alive. It's actually a miracle because Blair, all things considered, she tried to kill him. She tried to kill him by I'm not even talking like metaphorically. No, she literally put so much fucking stress on this dude who's already had a pretty fucking shitty life. And struggles with all kinds of like insecurities, like pushing him that way, knowing God, it's like he told her about the shit that he was going through, showing his vulnerability, and she fucking took that and twisted it like a broken arm. A arm that was already broken, and twisted that to fucking get him to do her little dirty fucking work. Holy fuck. Oh my God. She is actually just an awful person. Before, I wanted to say, best case scenario, Blair, you just leave YouTube and stuff like that. Blah, blah. Like, I'm having a whole nother thought process going on in my head, and I know I can't say what the fuck I actually think now. I know I cannot fucking say what I really think she should fucking do. If you know, you know. Yes, I think that little of her. Yes. It is insane what she's put that fucking man through. Trying to fucking kill him like that. Trying to kill him, manipulate him, just play around with him like he's not a fucking person. Treat and talk to him like he's not a human being. And it makes it all the more funny and interesting when you go back and you look at her older videos. What exactly is Blair known for doing? Oh yeah, making videos covering very abusive, manipulative, evil corporations that control and manipulate and abuse people and children and animals. Huh. Like I said in my previous videos, like I said in my cry video, don't fucking trust content creators. Don't fucking trust them. I don't care how many big old big subscriber numbers that they have. I don't care. I don't care. You should never trust any of these fucking creators. Like you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Especially when their private life is so conceited. You don't know how these people act. You don't know how they act and talk when they think no one is fucking listening. I tried to be as genuine and as I can, but then again, every manipulative person is going to fucking say that. So there's no way for you to really know how I act when I think no one's fucking looking. Okay? There's no way for you to know that about me. There's no way for you to know that about Blair. There's no way for you to know about that about any YouTuber. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to think that someone whose channel is dedicated to exposing fraudsters, exposing charlatans, exposing abusers, exposing liars, exposing child abusers, is they themselves just an abhorrent piece of fucking shit. So take this as a fucking lesson. I'm going to repeat this every single time something like this happens. The worst kinds of people are right in front of you. They're right in front of you, right before your very eyes, and you don't even know it. You don't even fucking know it. I don't think I'm a good person either. Obviously not to that fucking extent, but I don't think I'm a good person either. I've done some fucking shitty things in my past, And a lot of the good things that I'm doing now is to make up for those shitty things that I did. Okay, I used to be a piece of fucking shit in middle school to this one kid, to this kid with Asperger's, and I took part in bullying him to the point of crying. And I look back in that moment and I think that kid didn't deserve it. He literally didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't annoying. He wasn't obnoxious. He was just a little weird. And everyone picked on him, and I saw him as an opportunity to feel cool, to fit in with other people. And I bullied the fuck out of him. I drew really nasty drawings of him because I was the only like artistically inclined person in the class, and I drew really disparaging pictures of him. I was a really fucking bad kid. I was a really fucking bad kid in middle school. Granted, I was going through my own awful shit, but that gave me no fucking right to put that on other people. So now I pretty much dedicate the hatred that burns in me. I know that sounds super edgy, but I take that little fucking demon in me, I guess, and I push that onto people who actually fucking deserve it, who actually do wrong, who actually hurt people. You know, someone told me this once when I was like kind of discussing, you know, the whole anti-trolling stuff. This is the end of the video, by the way. Like we're kind of beyond talking about Blair. This is just personal reflection time. Someone told me once, you know, like I was saying, you know, I get a lot of shit for saying really awful, rude things to these people, even though they're bad people. Oh, you shouldn't say it. I'm like, but me personally, I don't care. You know, I think I have a right to be fucking absolutely cruel to these people because they are themselves being cruel to other people. So why the fuck not? They're just inviting it at this point. You know, all gloves off, you know, and someone said, oh, that's a very noble thing. I'm like, I don't feel noble though. I don't feel like it's a noble thing. I know I'm fighting shit with shit. I know I'm flinging shit. I'm fighting off shit with by flinging shit, or I'm fighting fire with fire. I know I'm doing that. And then someone else once said, that she says, you're not like a good guy. You're not like a bad guy. You're like an equalizer. And I like to think of myself as that. But it's really my way of making up for that bad shit that I used to do when I was a kid. Even though some people might say you've made up for your debt, you've helped a lot of people, you saved a couple people from committing stuff like that. You saved them, you helped them through that and stopped them from doing that. You've made your debt, but I don't feel like I did. I never got to tell that kid that I was sorry for doing that. I never got to tell him that. I never got to do it. Now thankfully he didn't fucking hurt himself like that. He's still alive, but I don't know exactly where to find him. I don't know his last name or anything like that. He might not live in Florida anymore. He might be moved somewhere else, but like I never got to say sorry to him. I never got to say sorry to him. And so I'm just living with this debt, this perceivable debt over my head. And it's just like, I'm fine with carrying that debt. I'm fine with paying it off as much as I possibly can, and it's not like I'm contractually obligated, that's just how I feel about the situation. It's like, now I just need to dedicate the rest of my life to doing good things for good people and hurting bad people for being bad. But it's a nice little insight into like, I'm not a good person either. You shouldn't go and believe a lot of content creators when they try to tell you, I promise I'm a good person. Don't fucking believe it. Don't fucking believe it for a fucking second. Everyone put so much trust into Blair because she's put a lot of work and a lot of effort into exposing a lot of people. Lo and behold, she stole half the fucking work and took all the fucking credit. But, whatever. She at least used her big fucking platform as a fucking YouTuber to bring attention to, criminality and immorality of a lot of these corporations. But it turns out she is just as dirty, filthy, manipulative, and evil as all those corporations that she's always made fucking videos on. So That's all I can fucking say about that situation. Blair, go fuck yourself. Like, actually, go fuck yourself. You are such a fucking awful person. This might get the video taken down. I don't fucking care. You are a fucking awful person. And if there's any fucking justice in this world, your channel will just be gone tomorrow. Because she is continuing to make videos like nothing happened. Like, there's literally nothing to answer for. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I hope she don't. Hey, Blair. I hope she doesn't ever show up to VidCon. Because I hope she doesn't. I hope she doesn't. Because if she fucking does, it's going to be real fucking bad for her. Not to say that there's any violence or anything that'll go after her, but I hope a whole crowd of people just fucking berate her. Honestly, I honestly hope an entire fucking crowd just berates her. She is that fucking evil of a person. God fucking damn, dude. Nearly pushed this guy into fucking and still tries to take her fucking thumb and just drive it into the fucking wounds. Just drive that fucking thumb into the wounds that she's created. Try and make him out as some fucking liar, as some sort of pig, as some sort of like fucking deadbeat who just sits on the couch and does nothing. And we brought him on, we trusted him, and he just took advantage of us. Like, I could say more, but that might actually get me banned. So you know what? That's the end of the video. Leave a like, and also, more importantly, leave a comment, because I notice actually comments actually do a lot in boosting me in the algorithm, boosting me, you know, boosting engagement with the video. Engagement with the video is very good. Liking, commenting. I would appreciate a sub. You don't have to, right? Obviously, some people don't like femboys. That's fine. You know, some people think it's weird to be like VTubing, commentating as a femboy, you know, but that's just my style, okay? But if you like this style, more content like this is gonna happen. It's gonna occur. I feel like I'm pretty dedicated to this now, but like I said in my previous video, classes are gonna be starting very, very soon, so videos are gonna be slowing down at least a little bit until I get adjusted to the schedule. And especially with this new job coming up, like, fuck. You know, might not have enough time to make videos a lot, but I'm going to try and push out as much as I can before classes start. Anyways, do that shit. It helps, right? And that's it.